Call of Duty not making a game yearly is something that a lot of people have been talking about for a long time. People think that if Call of Duty didn't make a Call of Duty every single year, we would receive better Call of Duty games similar to what Battlefield does. And for those that don't know, Battlefield releases a new game every 2 to 3 years. We all know the highly anticipated Battlefield 2042 is coming out later this year, but last time a Battlefield came out was 2 years ago in 2019 when we got Battlefield 5. And the reason people always ask for Call of Duty not to post a game every year is 1, franchise fatigue, and 2, everyone compares Call of Duty games to games like Battlefield, where Battlefield doesn't release a game every year. Instead, every couple of years, they release a highly detailed game. Now, there is only one single year in Call of Duty history since COD 4 where I truly believe that Call of Duty either should have delayed the release or waited a single year. Other than that specific year, which is Cold War, and I'll get into detail about that in a little bit here, I honestly disagree with the notion that Call of Duty should not make a new game every single year. As always, let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about the discussion points that I bring up and your overall thoughts on this topic as well. Starting from the very beginning, Call of Duty has uploaded year after year since 2007, 2008, and every year in October or November we get the new Call of Duty game, whatever title it may be, which can cause some franchise fatigue. Some Call of Duty games are played by the majority of players more than others. Look at Modern Warfare 2019. That was a widely popular Call of Duty game, but if you look at Infinite Warfare, a lot of people stopped playing Infinite Warfare within the first month, so that leaves them with 11 months of the year until the next Call of Duty, which was Black Ops 4, came out. And I agree that franchise fatigue is definitely a thing that happens within the gaming community, Call of Duty in general being a major example. But I think there's ways that Call of Duty could release a new game every year and not have it be this franchise fatigue staleness that we're all having. Of course, the more you play the game, the more likely you are to have franchise fatigue. And you could be a player like me. I've been really enjoying Call of Duty the past couple of years. In Cold War, I've been playing lots of multiplayer. In Modern Warfare, I played lots of multiplayer and some Warzone. And then Black Ops 4, I did a lot of zombies. And then even with some of the older games like Modern Warfare Remastered and when World War II was out, I played those multiplayers and got the mastery camos in those games as well. So for a player like me, franchise fatigue is a thing that doesn't happen very often. I tend to have issues with the game rather than a general franchise fatigue feeling, but I understand why people would want more years in between Call of Duty releases so the games release higher quality with more content, and I agree. But here is what people tend to forget. Since Sledgehammer has been brought back as the third Call of Duty developer for the next Call of Duty game, which is going to be World War II Vanguard later this year, that gives Infinity Ward 2 full years to work on the next game that they release in late 2022. And that's an extra year compared to what Infinity Ward is used to working on. If you look at the golden era of Call of Duty, Treyarch and Infinity Ward would rotate on who makes a Call of Duty. So 1 year Black Ops, 1 year Modern Warfare. Each studio pretty much had 1.5 years to make their product for the upcoming game that they were scheduled to make. Now with Modern Warfare 2 rumored to be coming out in 2022, and not a Modern Warfare 2 remastered, but a brand new conclusion or sequel to the Modern Warfare 2019 game that's coming out in 2022, which gives Infinity Ward all the way up until Q4 of 2022 to make a game. So that's almost 3 years to develop this game. And keep in mind, Call of Duty studios tend to start working on their next title right around the DLC 3 time of their current game, because they will already have DLC 4 made as well. So they basically have 2.5 to 3 years to make a new Call of Duty game within this 3 developer cycle, which means that each Call of Duty development title or game title has just as much development time now as a Battlefield game. Of course, Call of Duty focuses on a more arcadey experience and now does Warzone and will focus more on Battle Royale, which for those that don't know is actually mainly developed by Raven Software, which is a support studio, so Infinity Ward can fully focus on doing their next full release title. But Battlefield also gets around the same amount of development time as long as Call of Duty is in a 3 developer cycle, and it will continue. So when Sledgehammer makes their Call of Duty World War II Vanguard game, they will then have the 2.5, 3 years to make their next game that will come out in, I think it's 2024. So they have from 2021 to 2024 to make the next Call of Duty title that they will release. Meanwhile, Infinity Ward will release the game after theirs, and Treyarch will release the game after theirs. And the cycle continues. So I don't think development time is the big issue with Call of Duty and people asking to take a year off, basically. I think the main issue people have is just franchise fatigue and Call of Duty getting stale over and over again. And I think there are pluses and minuses to if Call of Duty was to skip a year of release. We would have the plus of no franchise fatigue. Call of Duty could sit down, see what works, see what doesn't in their year off, and focus on releasing games with lots of content, as well as having a lot of DLC content later within seasons or their DLC format or whatever they decide to change or implement into future Call of Duty games. And I think that could be a wonderful thing that Call of Duty should do, but I don't think it's realistic just because of how much development time Call of Duty games already have. Now, the one title that I would say should have been delayed is Cold War. For those that don't know the story of Cold War, one, it was developed during the beginning of the pandemic, which means that there was a lot of restrictions and a lot of major changes at studios where you can't communicate to your developer right beside you anymore. People are now working from home. Communication is a little bit harder to do, so things can take longer to code and complete and put into the game. Not only did the pandemic hit Cold War, but we also had Sledgehammer dropped as a studio, because if you guys don't know, instead of Cold War, Sledgehammer was supposed to release their third Call of Duty game, their prior to being Advanced Warfare and World War II. But this year was supposed to be a Sledgehammer Call of Duty, not a Treyarch Call of Duty. So what happened at Activision is they said, hey, Sledgehammer, we're gonna drop you guys as a studio. You guys are having some issues right now. We're gonna go with Treyarch instead to make the next Call of Duty. So what Treyarch had to do was pick up the scraps of what Sledgehammer had started to develop for their game and pretty much start making Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. That means that they pretty much had to start from scratch, if not rewrite all of the ideas that Sledgehammer had for this Call of Duty in general in less than a year as well, because the news broke late season 5 or at the beginning of season 6 for Modern Warfare that Sledgehammer was dropped. Actually, no, my apologies. It probably would have been early season 2 or 3 that we heard that Sledgehammer was dropped as a studio, so Treyarch had to pick it up with like 8-9 months left until release, so they pretty much had to grind really hard to fix and finish whatever Sledgehammer had started, which is why I think Cold War is on an older Call of Duty engine instead of the Modern Warfare 2019 one. I genuinely believe if Sledgehammer released their Call of Duty game this year and Treyarch was posting Black Ops Cold War in 2021, that we would be on the same engine that Modern Warfare is on, which means Cold War would share the same engine and the Cold War integration for Warzone would be a lot smoother. But a lot of people forget to realize that as well, that that main issue with Sledgehammer happened and Treyarch basically had to come into a burning building, put the fire out, and then rebuild the burning from scratch. And that's the only, like, last year and the Cold War release is the only year that would make sense if they delayed the game or decided to release it later. And Activision is a company and they have stockholders and shareholders that are expecting games to come out. So Activision is put pressure on by investors, and then Activision puts that pressure onto these studios to make games, and then those studios have to rush games, so games release with less content than ever, especially within the Call of Duty franchise. We saw it both in Cold War and in Modern Warfare. And if you guys want proof, go to Actman's channel. He's a great YouTuber who does a lot of very funny and very in-depth game reviews. Watch his initial Modern Warfare one and his Cold War one, and you'll see at the beginning of both titles that there just was not a lot of content whatsoever. And I think that's a huge issue with Call of Duty, and I think it's not something that can be fixed if Call of Duty took a year off. It's something that just needs to be fixed in general. I think Call of Duty needs to focus on making more content, and Call of Duty starts spreading its resources thinner and thinner because everyone used to work together to make the multiplayer campaign and zombies experience. But now, since Warzone is making so much money and is so demanding with the updates and all the changes that go on in there, a lot of the development studios have had members shifted over to Raven Software to work on Warzone, and more resources that would be going into content that games launch with, and content that would be coming in DLC is now pushed aside because there's not enough people to finish those earlier enough. So games launch with less content because Warzone is such a main focus for the development studios. And going back to comparing it to Battlefield, I think Battlefield is just a different shooter from Call of Duty. So when people make the comparison that look how good a Battlefield game is compared to Call of Duty because of the extra year that they take to develop it. While Call of Duty games take the same amount of time to develop, especially with the multi-development studio cycle, it's just different games. Call of Duty is more arcadey and is taken way less serious, and then Battlefield is known as way more realistic, where they pay attention to detail and everything, and I would say most things, and they just make a different shooter experience, and that's wonderful. But overall, I don't think it would be a good thing if Call of Duty took a year off, unless it was to delay Cold War's release, because that's the only one that makes sense. Because I think if Cold War had an extra year to develop, or just even a couple months, that Cold War would have launched in a way better state with lots of more content, and a lot of the issues that people have had would be kind of fixed and not an issue whatsoever. Who knows? Maybe the extreme SBMM in Cold War is a factor of Treyarch having less time to develop the game. Who knows? And they might not have been able to fully test skill-based matchmaking out. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment sections down below. Do you think Call of Duty should still continue to release a game yearly, or should they do it every other year? You guys know where I stand. Now I want to see where you guys stand. Leave a like if you guys did enjoy, dislike if you didn't. There's no hard feelings. Subscribe for more videos in the future. Social media links in the description down below. I'm about to head out, and if there is one, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.